Fiona, I'm really sorry I forget your horse's name. Yeah. Mick. Because he's Irish. Okay. He's a paddy. Oh, he's going to have one now too. Clever boy. My Irish horse does this. Yeah. Do you know what this pace is? It's called the Pafaf. It's the Pafaf. My Irish horse is really good at Pafaf. That's it. Well done. Okay, so tell us a little bit about, I'm asking you, but he's going to answer, about Mick and you. Yep.
Unbelievably full thoroughbred.
Yep.
He's done 2 seasons of racing.
Crikey.
As a chaser.
Yep.
I've owned him since he was a 4-year-old, so I owned him when he was racing.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. So I assumed you'd owned him after he'd been racing, but you owned him
right the way through.
Wow.
So I had the joy of going to watch him coming last.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so I had great fun. I've done some riding, I've done stuff with him.
Lovely.
He's evented to novice level.
Right.
He's got 12 points eventing. He's got 12 dressage points, both with me and somebody else.
Okay.
And he's won about 150 quid show jumping.
Oh, so it's a proper, true, genuine, all-round riding club. Go anywhere, do everything.
Yep.
What a clever boy.
He's now showing as well.
And now he's showing as well. Okay.
In the races as well.
Brilliant. Yeah, these clubs are getting really popular and very well contended. And this, yeah. Just somewhere anywhere, turn him across the arena and change the rein so I can see you and he to the right as well. So what made you apply to be a demo rider and to volunteer yourself for a lesson on him this evening?
I've been struggling with my dressage for many years, although I've invented since the year dot.
Sure.
Dressage has always been my weakest phase.
Okay.
And I've always struggled with it, and I thought something like you might help.
Okay.
And I come from a physio background, so
Right.
the mechanical side of it makes sense.
He's interesting to you as well. Okay.
And I have got totally knee replacements, so
Right.
I thought it might give hope to some
bionic people or people about to be bionic. Oh dear. Alright, let's pop Mick into trot now. His brain's a little bit more in his head. Yeah. So what I'm going to ask you to do, whatever it is that we're working on, can you keep him pretty much on a rectangle that goes KEBF? That way he gets to spend as much time as possible in front of the most number of people, which if he's going to show is important. If you could wave a magic wand and change something about him, what would it be?
He's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's a lovely thing to say. Okay, but, yeah, okay. Turn across and change rein. So again here we've got a combination where a lot is going right. There are things we can change, but there's a lot that's happening that is functioning well. Can we pop him into canter as well? So one of the things that I would like for you as an audience to notice is I want you to look at the band of his body that is behind the saddle. So if you look at behind the saddle and up to his croup, and just come back to trot. And in trot change rein and briefly canter to the right as well. And I just want you to observe without judgment and notice that area. Notice again the relative depth of him from wither to sternum and from croup to stifle. Just that comparison. Just get your eye on what it looks like. He looks looks like he'd just go all day. All day. Yeah. He's loads of fun. All right. Turn rot. Oh, fella. All over. And then walk. And maybe hold just there, because that's about perfect. Maybe, actually, let's bring you a few steps further down, because this way, this way, this way. So, we're going to do the poking and the prodding bit. That's all right with you. This is the knee that... Oh, okay, all right, then where's the best place to approach me? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to pick on your mum and not you. That's all right, isn't it? He always says I'm shy. But look, don't touch. All right. So, you're close to neutral spine, slightly hollow. Most of your hollow is a low down hollow that tends to put the pelvis slightly further back and out of balance, and that gives you the appearance, particularly in trot, of as if you tip forward. So, I make that point because lots of riders do tip forwards, and lots of riders tip forwards because they tip forwards, and lots of riders tip forwards because their bum goes backwards. And if your bum goes backwards, and you try to stop tipping forwards by bringing your shoulders back, you're going to hollow more. If your bum goes backwards, what you need to first off do is to work out how to keep your bum forwards. Okay? And if you're jumping, if you're eventing, bum to cantle, fine. Yeah? When you want him to start sitting, which is one of the things that you asked for, you need to have this sense of as if you advanced your sacrum. And I'm going to use these words because she's talked about an awareness as a body worker and a physiotherapist, as if towards your front more. Okay? So, maybe keep your feet in the stirrups, but bring both legs over the front of the saddle at the same time. You okay to do that on the other side too? That's it. And then just scoot your butt slightly further under. Good. Well done. So, this isn't universally true, but positioning Fiona like this gets more cantle out behind her. And it depends a lot on the shape of the saddle and the conformation of the rider, so this isn't a universal truism, but it's what I'm going to say to you. Okay? Leave that leg where it is. I'm going to bring this one down. Your only challenge is how your bum doesn't slide backwards when I bring your legs down. A big piece of how Fiona's bottom gets slid backwards is because there's a little too much weight in the stirrups. And that kind of clothes pegs and slides and pushes your bottom back of the ideal place. So I want you to really keep your feet, resting very light in the stirrups. So there's a number of reasons that I like feet light in the stirrup. The first is that if the rider, like Fiona, tends to slide the seat too far back by pushing back off the stirrup, almost like effectively kind of clothes pegging herself slightly, it disorganises the rider sitting. Also, those studies of pressure points on horses' backs often show the stirrup bars as pressure points. And so, right where we want him to be able to lift his back up, if we're pushing down, then that's going to have an impact and an influence on the trapezius. Absolutely, yeah. So that clearly makes sense to Fiona again as a body worker. That's right. So, that would be you aligned thigh at 45 degrees to the ground. Feet just resting lightly on the stirrups, yeah? Just resting lightly. And pretty much in neutral spine, although you weren't far off. Most of how you lost it was because your butt was sliding backwards. And I'm not entirely sure, and maybe you can tell me, and if you can't answer now, you may be able to as we go along, how much of your bottom sliding backwards is because your feet are pushing, and how much your feet are pushing is because your bottom is... Okay, yeah. Yeah, sure. Feet forward, yeah, okay, yeah. So, what feels most strange where we've positioned you here? Yeah, okay. Alright. And if I was to tell you that your heel is level with your toe and your aligned shoulder hip heel, would that surprise you? If I didn't tell you that, would you think your heel was further up and back than that? Yes. Yes. So, does it feel like that? Okay. Does that make sense to you? So what it feels like and what it looks like are often very different. It usually feels bigger than it looks, which is why I think very often people are not able, not unwilling, not disobedient, not stupid, but to make a change big enough. So the coach might say, you know, move this, do that, and the rider does it within what we might call their comfort zone, thinking, you know, well, if I come from here to here, that must be what she means, because from here to here feels like that can't be right. So this again is why I'll tend to sort of bypass and, if you like, cheat by moving the rider and saying, what does this feel like? Because if I asked you to sit in shoulder hip heel, it probably wouldn't feel like that. And yet you are. No. So what is this in your perception? Falling out the front end and disappearing behind you. Okay, all right. So we're going to see if you can do that as you walk off. Okay. Yep, that would be good. Breathing's usually a good idea. Lots of people make mention of the difficulty in breathing, and I tend not to make too much of it. I don't want to make light of it, but I don't want to make too much of it. And often the reminder to the rider to breathe is a useful one. Often though, when you position the rider in neutral spine, even though Fiona wasn't that far away from it, the strength of the core puts the breathing under sort of pressure somehow, and it can make it feel as if you're not breathing. But you're doing enough breathing now. If you start turning blue, I'll tell you. Well done. And you're doing really well on this knee and foot. How's she doing on your side? Yeah? I mean, for someone who felt like her heels were really up and out behind her, she's maintaining it extremely well. And you've kept your seat forward enough and away from the canter enough as well. And you did allude to it's like not just your feet being back, it's also like something feels like it's going forward, you said.
I'm not tipping my upper body forward then?
That's what it feels like. Okay, keep doing that. What's happening to his walk as you sit more still?
He stops.
Yep. He wants to stop. So you know when I said like lots of riders say things like, I'm not going to be able to do this and move. Lots of horses do this too. And my sense in this is like, how many horses do you know that want to stop when they poo? Yeah. So when the horse poos, it engages its core, right? You can feel that happening. And lots of horses, not all horses, but lots of horses will, if not stop, then certainly slow down to poo. And what this tells you is that the horse hasn't learned how to engage its core plus move. And this is what begins to happen to the horse here. As you get really plugged in, really organised, he holds himself in a way that we might call isometrically. And in doing that, he goes, I'm not sure I can do that and move. But he can. And he is. You are maintaining this really well, which of course means that we must put you into trot. The big challenge being keeping your feet light. So where's the weight going to go then if I'm not going to let it go on your feet? Okay, let's try that. Sounds like a good plan. Might even work. Keep the weight in the knee. Sally Swift says this thing about the rider having short stubby thighs that short stubby legs that end at the knee. And keep landing up the slope of the pommel rather than up the slope of the cantle. Good, very good. That's right. Yeah? In what way? Oh, nasty. Anything else? Or just the...
He feels like he's giving me a lot more kick up the backside.
A lot more kick up the backside. Yeah. Keep landing up the pommel without crucifying yourself. What you might have to do so as not to get crucified, that's a very polite way of wording that, is to really think about transverse abdominals. Transverse abdominals are like a big band of muscle that go, do you remember on the skeleton where I pointed at the two bony nodules there? It's like a big thick band that would hold all your guts and goo, or not. Think of transverse abdominals, taking the contents of your guts and goo and putting it against your sacrum. In doing that, that lifts your pubic bone up, keeps it safer. good, that's good, that's good. Well done, landing up the slope of the pommel, but with transverse abdominals engaged so as not to crucify your underneath. You are doing a good job. But inevitably what I have to ask her to do, as you come level with me on the next long side, go back to how you would have trotted before. Okay, so keep transverse abdominals, pubic bone up, and then lose it. Okay, what happens to his trot when you go back to the old way? Goes flatter. For those of us watching, do his hind legs come more under or more out behind like this? More out behind. Look at that area behind the saddle, between the saddle and his croup. It's like he's more kind of pulled out there, kind of longer and leaner, instead of shorter and fatter. Can you change it? And just, those of you watching, just notice that area behind the saddle and horse. And there's this kind of sense of him walking more, particularly with his hind legs, heel, toe, rather than just on his toes. I can't prove that's true, but it looks like that to me. Tomorrow I'm going to have a meeting. Yeah. You know what it sort of makes me feel like is like your depth of influence extends down his hind legs in a way that it didn't at the beginning of the session. That's particularly good there, and actually, as I've said, it is getting better. So sometimes just, yeah, that's right. Good. Could you have your depth of influence extend that far down his legs and out behind of you as you go to trot? We're doing really well. Yep. And then it might be worth saying to Fiona as well, keep doing exactly what you're doing. And I don't know if you were here for the bit where I said to Christina at the beginning about putting the bit on the next stair up and further away. Like, could you have a sense of that with him? Good. Because, yeah, we know that when the back comes up, the head comes down. We saw that with our human volunteers in the first half. But that's not the end of the story, right? You know, you want to be able to put the head down, but you need to be able to, yeah, he's really changed behind the saddle. Big time. Good boy. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well done. Good. That's it. Just on that step away from you, it's a bit away. There. Yep. Very good. Very good. Well done. One last piece, if you can manage it, you can tell me off if you need to. Can you keep doing exactly what you're doing, but make your rise just a tiny bit more powerful? Attaboy. Transverse, sacrum, good knees, good feet. Bit on the next stair up. Yep. Good. Well done. One last time as you come level with me, lose it on purpose. Keep doing it, 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 and lose it. Well done. Can you regroup? He held himself quite a long time. Until he got a little bit floppity and Irish. There's a good man. Sacrum, 2 transverse abs, 2 sacrum, big rise. Yeah, that's right. Bit on the next stair up. Clever boy. And can you do all of those things and, oh, let's do it, let's canter. I was going to say more from the finish, but what the hell. Sacrum, transverse, good, good, good knees, good feet light. Okay, so now we see Fiona's correct mechanics in the advancing the torso over the seat bone more challenged. So do less rocking back, more squashing your bum down. Keep thinking of him coming up into the front of your hip joint. Knee up, bum down, foot light, foot light, foot foot light, foot light, foot light, foot light. Good. Keep bringing your collarbone forward. Keep squashing your bum down. Keep advancing your sacrum. Very good, very good, very good. Fit on the next step. Yep. Good. Knee, foot, sacrum. Well done. Go back to the old way. Okay. Alright, can you rescue in canter? That's really unfair in a half-hour lesson. Well done, good woman. Good woman. Good. Can you trot? He speaks English. Sacrum. Transverse. Ooh. Good boy. And can you just let him eat the reins from your fingers, millimetre by millimetre? Keep doing your sacrum. Keep doing your track. He gets to rest, you don't. Yep. Good man. That's right. Okay, he can walk. And that's part of the purpose of the find it, lose it thing. You know, it's partly as a visual, you know, for people watching, but also for the rider, because inevitably you are going to lose it sometimes. You know, like the horse will shoot off like he did there. Horse is horse, you know? So if you never let the rider lose it, how will they, when they default, get it back again? So there's method in the madness of doing that. And sometimes when you're not sure if you're still doing it, you know, like if you've been given a correction or you're focusing on something and you think, oh, I don't know if I'm still doing that anymore, a good test is to go back to the old way and compare and contrast and see what happens. Yeah, good. Anything that wasn't clear, anything that you need a bit more info on? Yeah. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Right. No. That's right. It's not a problem if you can put the head down, so long as you can put the head up. It's not a problem to have the head up, so long as you can put it down. It's like the go-stop thing. You know, you need to be able to mechanically organise that without compression. Yes. No. The timing in saying that to someone, and I mean it's a coincidence that we've said that to 2 people in one night. But the timing in saying that is key. If you start from there while the horse is still unbalanced and out behind, it's just going to sprawl out and the rider's going to hate it. But you were able to do it, and it made a difference. And I really enjoy that idea of on the next step. And something about that as well, yeah. It really gives you a sense of on every stride, and every stride, and every stride, and every stride, and every stride, rather than you just do it and then they creep back again. And you creep. No. Ideally, though, that would come from the angle that the thigh bone sits within the hip socket. What I'm not particularly keen on doing is where a rider is rotated out at the hip and knee, then twisting the toe in, because that would place a strain on the ligaments of the ankle joint. And whilst, as you can see, I don't mind making the riders hurt and sweat a bit, I don't like putting strain on ankle joints and ligaments. I'm quite happy with the angle that Fiona's thighs come out of their hip sockets. There is something more especially with this right leg, which has a knee replacement. So if I start messing around with the knee joint, you know, I'd need to know her a lot better before I was even going to go there. And having said that though, I must admit, I haven't noticed with this rider, other than there's something interesting on the right. And that may just be that your eye is in on something in a better way than mine. But it wouldn't be the thing that had jumped out at me, which doesn't mean it's wrong, it just didn't jump out at me.